Aloha, everyone. Welcome to February and the Habitual Cosmic Review. I hope everybody is seeing this. It says up at the top of the screen, it looks like I'm broadcasting on another window. Never gotten that warning before, so we're just going to keep rolling and see what happens. Hopefully you can see and you can hear me okay. If you are live, if you could just let me know in the chat, give me a thumbs up, that would be great. Right now, though, it is time to definitely get out your natal charts and notebooks as we dive into the energies of February 2022. If you are live with me, I definitely encourage you to join in on the chat. This is an interactive and meant to be an interactive space where you can ask questions, you can drop any tidbits of info, how the energies are working with you or showing up for you. And it is meant to be that engagement atmosphere, and we're looking at cultivating that as we go through 2022. For those that are watching on replay, whether that be via YouTube or another platform, feel free to leave any comments and again, have that engagement discussion, whether that's with me or with the community itself. And as a reminder, I always like to state all dates and times that I have in this presentation and throughout are for my location. I am located on the islands of Hawaii in the United States of America. So please make sure that you change your time zone. Some of these dates could happen the day after for some of you, just depending upon where you are located at in the world. And if you are live with me, go ahead and throw your location in the chat, or you can leave it in the comments and let's see how many time zones we can cover. So I always like to start the new month with an understanding of the larger scope and of the journey that we're in right now. This is my Jupiter exalted in Sagittarius. It's a whole thing. That is my natal placement. I love to see the big picture of things. I love to pull back and see how each individual step that we're taking really does go towards that longer, long-term journey, ending destination point. The theme of the quarter, and I did talk about this in my 2022 whole astrology review that you can find on YouTube, is pressure makes diamonds, with the word of the quarter being perseverance. So knowing that this quarter is all about really building the fabric of our long-term future. And I just love anytime I say that phrase right there, building the fabric of our long-term future, I always just get this really strong image of a huge quilt, or like anything that you create, whether that's through quilting or what's the word that I'm looking for when you're tapestries, just anything that you weave together. It's really the fabric of the long-term future that we're starting to weave through as we go through these months and through these quarters. So there is a need for us to have dedication and diligence towards our goals, towards that long-term vision. Hence the reason why February's word of the month is sedulous. And sedulous means the action of showing dedication and diligence. And where the January word was assiduous. So that was more about showing great care, showing ourselves that we have what it takes to move forward, showing ourselves that our ideas are solid, showing ourselves that we can put plans into place, we can take action towards those plans and start seeing progress. February now is all about the action, all about the movement, all about the energy forward. So Aquarius rules the ankles and Pisces actually rules the feet. So it's this really great synergy of how are you walking your path in February? How are you showing up for yourself? How are you showing up for your goals? How are you showing up for your dreams? Like your life and all of the things that you're doing in it, how are you manifesting the things that you want into your reality? Again, feet and ankles, they take you places. They allow you to walk towards things. They provide that solid foundation on which we stand as humanoids. So it's really kind of that next step where, all right, we've got our structure. Capricorn, Saturn gave us the structure. Now let's start to walk forward and start to walk down that journey even more so than we may have been doing in January. The affirmation of the month is I show up fully dedicated to growing into the person who can achieve my goals. I just want to take a moment and pause on that and just breathe into that affirmation. I'm going to say it one more time. I show up fully dedicated to growing into the person who can achieve my goals. And I think it's really important to understand who it is going, like your goals are going to take you becoming somebody different than you are today. If you were going to get your goals today, you'd already be that person. You already have your goals. So there is growth that is required. There is some level of change that is required, some level of knowledge, some level of action that is required that's going to grow you into a new person, in which that growth expands your capacity to achieve the things that you want, to bring in the manifestations that you want. Getting into the lunation and now into the astrology of February. So the only full moon in February for the island of Hawaii is on February 16th at 6:57 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. It is the full moon in Leo. I am a Leo sun, so this is definitely my moon. I love a full moon in Leo. Great time to work for me, great time to show up and just be on parade. And that moon will happen at 28 degrees, 0 minutes of Leo. So if you have your natal chart handy, this is a great time to look at where 28 degrees of Leo is for you. So if we look over to the right, this is actually the transit chart for that moon. You can see here's the sign of Leo. And here is the moon at 28 degrees, 0 minutes. It is directly opposing, which is what all full moons are, the sun in Aquarius at 28 degrees, 0 minutes. So what you're looking for in a natal chart to see how these energies are working for you is taking a look at where you find Leo in your chart and then finding the 28 degree mark. And for those of you that aren't, super like, oh, okay, where are all these degree points and all of that? Everything goes in counterclockwise. So it starts from this left side over here with the ascendant AC right here, and it goes around counterclockwise. So that means in this chart, 1 degree of Leo is here and 28 degrees of Leo is up here. So you're looking as close to Virgo as you can get pretty much. Which is the next sign. And so depending upon if you use your natal charts with whole house placements or not, this could be in Leo could span 2 separate houses, just depends upon what type of natal chart you are reading. But you are looking here, which in this chart with the moon at 28 degrees of Leo is in the 6th house, which you'll see here, or the number of the house could be towards the center of the natal chart as well. And then you want to look at its direct opposite, which is Aquarius, where the sun is at, what is being illuminated for you. And that is going to show you the other house that will, with the themes and everything that you could be working with during this full moon in Leo. And this in this chart is in the 12th house, as you can see right here. So I don't really want to dig too deep into the moon, just kind of giving you like places to look on the natal chart, little bits of info, but I will be doing another live cast for February on this. You can already find that on Crowdcast. I already have all of February and all of March labeled out on Crowdcast. So you can register for those right away, right after this, and already have that on your calendar. And what I will highlight is in this chart, which is the chart that I will be using, because this is the chart for where I am located. I wanted to just highlight some really dynamic and impactful things with this moon. And then during that live cast, we will absolutely dig deeper into what that means. First of all, look at this. Our friend Uranus in Taurus down here is at 11 degrees, 11 minutes. Have no idea what that means. Haven't sat with the moon yet. Haven't really dug into the energies, but at 11:11, it's divine. It's totally here. And I'm super excited to find out maybe what that could mean as I dig into the mood more. The other thing is this moon is squaring both of the nodes. It's the nodes are trining Pluto. Venus and Mars are together. They are up here in Capricorn still. They are absolutely conjunct, like not just conjunct, but during this lunation, because it's going to last a couple of minutes, they are absolutely going to be exactly conjunct. So that's a whole other part of the story. Jupiter is trining Uranus. It is a Palladian degree point, and we are activating the lunar eclipse that we had in November of 2021, which is a huge theme throughout February. And it's the first time since April 2021 that literally all planets are direct in a lunation chart. So as you can see, we haven't even dug really into each of these yet. It is a really, really big full moon. And it's a Leo moon. I mean, what else is new, right? This moon is a lot just kind of surface level, a lot about actions and adjustments needed to make sure we are maintaining our alignment. So what needs to be adjusted right now? What pivots do you need to make? What habits do you need to let go of or create in order to stay in our alignment? There are very clear goals that you have asked the universe for, incredibly clear intentions that you have set. And there is a huge potential for great change organized by the universe to better align us to get them. So this is where, whenever you're setting intentions, it's important to say before you set them, like, I'm asking for this or something better. I'm asking for this or something better, or in more alignment with my destiny, my purpose, my vision, my higher power, whatever that is for you. And that is where this moon comes in from, is even though you may not be able to see why things are adjusting the way that they're adjusting, or you're being called to adjust the way you're being called to adjust, you've got to hold your vision and trust the process. And that is my phrase. I love that phrase. Hold the vision and trust the process, because the universe is aligning us for what we asked for or something better. And we don't see it that far. The universe sees it that far. So hold the vision, trust the process. And this is also much, much, much bigger than us. This is a cosmic event. A cosmic change is occurring, especially this month in February, not just with this moon. And we're going to talk about that in just a few slides. All right, so for our station dates, Mercury stations direct on February 3rd, 2022. So we are like 2.5 days after the new moon in Aquarius. And here Mercury is stationing direct at 24 degrees, 23 minutes of Capricorn. And not only is he stationing direct in Capricorn, he's doing so sextiling the moon, sextiling Neptune, and conjunct Pluto. Nothing by halves in Capricorn this year. Nothing by halves. However, celebration time, because what this means is all planets are direct. All planets direct. We should like make a direct dance. I feel like we need to have like an all planet direct dance that we can like choreograph and like just blow up on TikTok, because all planets are direct until April 30th. That February, March, April, that is 3 like full months of direct action forward. If you have any plans or anything that you are working on, it is time to take action. Remember, Aquarius and Pisces, feet and ankles, get working on it because it is good. And on April 30th, that is when Pluto will actually be the first planet to go back retrograde. We'll go through another retrograde season with most of the planets. So more to come in April, but just know this is that big time frame right now. And this is really, really, really big energy. To me, I really felt like this Mercury retrograde, more so it's kind of not that the retrograde itself was like massively, oh my gosh, life changing or super impactful. And for some of us, maybe it was. But what I did get is the way that it was placed within the chart. So going from Aquarius back to Capricorn and with all of the other placements, it was a really big Mercury retrograde. And it's really these significant shifts from a planetary perspective. So not just was it working because Mercury is a personal planet. So not only was Mercury working with us personally during his retrograde, but he was also really working with this huge planetary changes, huge human consciousness changes that are occurring with some of the the nodes changing, the outer planets positioned where they're positioned. Obviously, this conversation with his retrograde includes Pluto. So it is a very dynamic perspective, which we haven't really seen in Mercury retrogrades, at least for the last year that I could remember. So that's why I thought this one was a little more prominent in that energy signature. The other piece is it is activating points in the lunar eclipse in November. It's like this. When I thought about it, I kept seeing like a portal or a gateway. Like it's the doors, so in some circles, they talk about like one door opens, you stand in a hallway of doors and you try to find which door is yours to go through. And it's like that. It's like doors are opening and things are happening. And that's not just personally, but collectively as well. And you're really just ready to walk through. There's not really any more questions. Like, I feel like a lot of what Venus retrograde, excuse me, and aligning with our values was all about was kind of shedding that last layer where you are now ready to stand at this portal, stand at this gateway, and walk through with no hesitation and no like, oh, I want to turn back or I want to look back. I want to be nostalgic and lament on what's behind me. It doesn't have that energy signature at all. It's truly like, no, we're ready to go. I'm ready to walk through this gateway. I'm ready to go on this next journey. I'm excited for that. And then we have our ingress dates. So Mercury will re-enter Aquarius on February 14th. So from the 3rd to the 14th, he is going to be in a deep conversation with Pluto. And then he will get out of the sign of Capricorn, move into Aquarius. And this is where Mercury is in his prime energy. And it's the energy signature of looking bigger, seeing a larger, more connected, deeper connection to humanity. It's a very humanitarian perspective on things. So I see now what I'm doing in my life connects to the world at large, connects to humanity as a whole. It's, Mercury's got this high intelligence in the sign of Aquarius. It's that we're not just surface level, like, oh yeah, I see things. It's I truly see things. It's the third eye seeing, not necessarily with the two eyes that we were given as a species. It's that third eye chakra. It's the seeing beyond the veil of things, which then we get into Pisces and veils abound, right? And Mercury, the one thing with Mercury and Aquarius is Saturn and Uranus are the rulers of Aquarius. So Saturn is the traditional ruler, Uranus is the modern ruler. And one thing about Mercury and Aquarius is he's able to handle the shock of Uranus, right? And Uranus is doing things right now up in Taurus. So he's able to handle that shock of whatever Uranus gives, because again, he sees a bigger picture. He's able to intellectually think about those things, but he can also handle the structure of Saturn. Saturn is saying, no, you have to sit, which Saturn is also in Aquarius. So very strong energy signature. Like, nope, you have to do this. Mercury is okay with that because he sees bigger. He sees broader. He sees the reason for the pause. He sees the reason for the restriction. He sees the reason for the structure that's needed and can apply that in a logical way. And then we enter Pisces season on February 18th. So happy season to all the Pisces out there and happy solar return. Pisces is a water sign, also a mutable and feminine sign. So it's this beautiful, dreamy, watery energy. Its ruler is Neptune in modern astrology. However, in traditional astrology, it is ruled by Jupiter. And it's truly, the Piscean energy is about our intuition. It's about spiritual connections, completions. It's the end of the zodiac. So there's a big completion energy, a lot of compassion. Piscean energy is very compassionate. There can be a disorientation with Pisces energy, kind of distorted realities, very big dreamers. So again, that distortion of, well, what's really real and what's coming from my imagination. And overall, it is the I am energy signature. So it's this, I am all that I am. I am that I am. And it's a sign that represents the ending of one journey and the lessons and the growth that that journey provided. So it's ultimate wisdom that truly transcends the ego. And it's the crone aspect if you're looking at the three-faced goddess, the maiden, mother, and crone. Piscean energy is that crone aspect. I wanted to highlight that this is a big tonal change. Yeah, it's an energy shift, but it's almost like a tone is just an octave higher now. In Aquarius, the sun was transiting a sign ruled by Saturn and Uranus, and Saturn was also transiting Aquarius and squaring Uranus because they're still in a loose square. So the sun was under a lot of pressure in Aquarius season. And I said this in I think it was in the January or in another video, I had said this where I kind of don't feel like Aquarius season gets started until February because we had all of this energy that was just kind of constricting for the sun to not really shine out fully. But when the sun shifts into Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter are in Pisces, whoa, we change in tones. Tones are changing, not just energy. Like we're getting extra hertz up in here. It is about to be lit when we get into Pisces season. It's a changing of mood. It's super optimistic. And there's just great changes abound, and I'm getting goosebumps. It's very buoyant. It's just buoyant, energetic energy. So definitely excited for the sun to get into Pisces. And now let's take a look at all of the different transits. So a lot of these transits I have already talked about. I'm just going to highlight a few others that I felt were really important to take a look at. So the sun conjunct Saturn on 2/4 which is also when Mars in Capricorn sextiles Jupiter in Pisces. But I want to just highlight this Sun conjunct Saturn in Aquarius at 15 degrees, 56 minutes. So the Sun and Saturn meet up once per year. That is a yearly transit for the Sun and Saturn. And when the Sun meets up with Saturn, and obviously they're both in Aquarius. So again, ruler of Aquarius meeting the Sun that's trying to like highlight and allow you to stay in your power and be in your power, you're going to feel strengthened in some way. It's this strength of stability. It's the strength of your dedication to what you're doing. It's a strength of your responsibilities to making your goals a reality. So if, during Mercury's retrograde or during a lot of this time with this Capricorn energy, if it's been kind of a little lesson bound for you, and there's been some pressure for you, this Sun conjunct Saturn can be that like jolt of energy to go, all right, I'm rededicating myself to these goals. Or, all right, I'm stable. I made it through that. I know what to do going forward. So you can really use that day as a good day to just give yourself a nice little boost. On 2/8, we have Mars in Capricorn trining Uranus in Taurus at 11 degrees, 1 minute. So Mars trines Uranus. Mars and Uranus is always a very interesting pairing. But this can truly be a good time for new solutions to come in. You can be like, something drops in your lap where you're like, oh my gosh, why didn't I ever think about that? And now your drive is on and popping to get that implemented. You're like, nope, I'm moving with it. It's done. But it can also be a time of chaotic energy. So Mars rules the body, this sack that we have. And Uranus likes to bring shock to the energy, right? It's this shocker of things. It's like lightning and high energy states. So if you're already not regulating your energy or doing things necessary to regulate your auric field, your energy fields, that could be something that now you might want to start to work with. That can be like wonderful time to get Reiki, wonderful time to do meditations, go into the ocean, go ground bare feet out on the grass, sit in the sunshine, anything like that. You just want to watch your body because Mars can tend to have, some of his shadow aspects, some of his lesser vibratory aspects are frustration and anger. And what you don't want to do is be in that state of frustration or anger and like you're just running around the house and then you stab your toe and like all of a sudden a toe's broke and now you've got to go and get that fixed. And so that can kind of be that Mars Uranus energy. Would just watch your body, watch your energy signature. On 2/11, we have Mercury conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. So this is the exact conjunction at 27 degrees, 17 minutes. And we have the trine of the north nodes in Taurus at 27 degrees. The trine of the north node, in Taurus at 27 degrees, 47 minutes. So the transits these two in particular are really about changing something mentally. There's something that needs to like transform, transition. It's more like an understanding of, I talked before about this portal energy and this gateway. This is kind of that last little, if you have anything left to shed, if you have anything left to shed about fear, about lack, about scarcity, and about holding yourself back, about you're not good enough, this is that prone time to think, communicate, understand, understand where that is and start to shed that so you can walk through that door, like I stated, without having to look back, with having no regrets, with, kind of that energy of bye and off I go. February 23rd to 24th, we have Mars and Venus in Capricorn, sextiling Neptune in Pisces. So that's happening at 22 degrees, 13 minutes and 14 minutes. And Mercury in Aquarius is squaring Uranus in Taurus at 11 degrees, 25 minutes. So this is a 2-day period where all of the personal planets are meeting up with all of the outer planets. That's a big conversation. That is a huge conversation point. It's the imagery I got when I was looking into this was, have you ever been in a really cloudy environment? Like it's just clouds. It's not raining, but it looks like it's going to rain. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the clouds kind of part and this like beam of sunshine shines through. That's the energy of this day. It's like sunshine through stormy skies energy. And there's an opening where you're like, okay, things are lining up. Cards are falling into place. I've got all that I need. Dominoes are laying down perfectly. It's just everything is in order and in where you need it to be. Additional themes here for these 2 days could be themes around the way our daily lives are changing. And I mean that from a kind of a global perspective. So a world view. So not necessarily our individual lives, but how our lives as Americans, as Europeans, as Asians, as people in the world, as a collective consciousness, how those parts of our lives are changing. So that could be another theme that we see over those 2 days. And then I wanted to take some time to talk about 4 like key dates that are happening in February, other than the transits and what we just talked about. And this is just really to have awareness placed around, because there's more energies. Again, I keep kind of saying it, and I feel like it's the theme for 2022. We are a very small part of a very big picture. And our small part that we play is pivotal to the bigger picture. And at the same time, what's happening on the bigger picture is also pivotal to our story. So I wanted to kind of give some of these other larger aspects, more cosmic aspects, so that way you can also work within this energy as well. So first one is February 3rd through the 17th. This time frame, if you have a calendar on your wall, if you like keep a desk calendar or keep a calendar on a mobile device or anything like that, however you can highlight February 3rd through the 17th, like just highlight all of that as important energy time. And I really can't understate that. It is a very big time signature. So we have Pluto trining the North Node, which in itself is a conversation. Like that would be on the last page when I went over the transits. That would have been one that I would have highlighted. But again, it's one little tiny part of a very big picture. The bigger picture in this is not only that Pluto is trining the North Node, but it is trining it at the degree at which the lunar eclipse in November 2021 occurred. And it is also a Palladian degree point. So we have this trifecta. And again, if you're into numerology, that 3-point is really, that's a big deal. It's a pivotal moment. It's that trifecta of energy where we have Pluto trining the North Node. It's activating our lunar eclipse in November, and it's a Palladian degree point. So if you can think back to November 2021, if you're a journaler or have any like books or notes that you take, you can go back and look and see kind of what energy you were working with during that lunar eclipse. But that really was like something started there. And honestly, it could be something started there way up here. Something started in the 5D, something started, in this space where like you have no conscious idea what's occurring for you, because it hasn't like figured itself out, but something was started, a process, a growth cycle, a big kickoff, because the nodes were in the process of changing. So it something was kicked off here. It's just this like deepening sense that, okay, something's happening. Like there's energy, something is moving, something's getting activated. But zero idea when, what, how, right? This is astrology. So, hey, I know something's happening. Can't tell you how it's going to show up. Well, we're now back. So that was November. We had all of December, all of January. Now we're in February, and we have got an entire, pretty much a whole month, right? February is only 28 days. So the 3rd through the 17th, we have all of that time and space to activate that growth. So again, when we talk about moving through a portal, talk about moving through a gateway, it's really that like, it's time to jump. It's time to like fully walk through that door and open yourself up to that growth cycle, that change, that next level that you're getting into. It's really transforming at a cellular level, but also because we are dealing with Taurus, and that is a physical sign, it's also at a physical level to align us with the energies and realities for our glow up. And that's how kind of this trifecta, I really feel, is working with us. We are getting upgraded in ways that we probably can't understand. However, it's all for our glow up. Hold the vision, trust the process. So what you can do is you can use your natal chart to find 27 degrees of Taurus and Capricorn, and you can determine the 2 houses where the themes of this growing might be targeting. So if it's your first house, that's your personal house, that's the you house. It could be their second house, third house, communication, second house, finances. So utilizing your house placements, you could really see where these themes may be showing up for you. Again, bigger story. This is also cosmic. This is a cosmic time as well. It is a cosmic upgrade. This is also a collective transformation. So Palladian energy is a spiral energy that allows us as individuals to bring our energy, like our own personal energy field, and sync it to the multi-dimensional universe. And that multi-dimensional energy of the cosmos, and this great awakening that humanity is going through. So it's a time where, welcome and expect downloads, activations. If you've ever gone through an activation or download, or know how you work with either Palladian or just cosmic energy, some of those themes could be sleeplessness, lack of hunger. Sometimes I get super hungry, just depending. It can be a lot of like lethargy, headaches, not wanting caffeine. It's just like wanting to cleanse and clear and like take care of your energy field. Like you may just feel really drawn to like nature or anything like that. Honor all of those things. Honor what is happening, and know like sometimes things are just an energy. Things are happening energetically to help us upgrade. And no, you're not, you don't have like, you're not super duper sick or anything, right? Like it's just, I've got this low grade headache. I'm not really sure what's going on. It can be that I know I get headaches, or I should say low grade headaches, where it's just like right here when I'm going through activations. And it's just like, I just want this headache to go away. But I'm not sick. I feel completely fine. Other than this thing right here, it's like, okay, well, what is happening? And then energy releases, boom, it's gone. So February 17th through 21st, Jupiter sextiles Uranus. So if your change curve and how you manage change is not as fluid, or you've been particularly resistant to some form of change in your life, these are the dates that you want to highlight. This is an awesome time for you. Jupiter really brings this level of expansiveness. And when Jupiter sextiles Uranus, there's this like super energetic excitement. It's like the crackling excitement where if you've ever been in a really large arena before, like in a concert, before a huge band plays and like everything gets dark and there's just this like energy that you can feel, and you can just, your body's getting goosebumps, and as soon as that music starts, dude, it's on. That's Jupiter meeting up with Uranus. So you're able to take that anticipatory energy and help you guide yourself through change better. And that can really help you release a lot of the blocks and the tensions that you may be experiencing around change. There could be a need to get out and change some areas though. So again, Uranus really works with wherever there is tension, Uranus is going to highlight and fix it and shut it down. So Uranus may look and say, hey, this area, this routine, this limiting self-expression, this way that you're doing this, yeah, all that's got to go. Bye. You're done with that. So it's a really great time to be innovative. It's that time where you're able to not only think about what you want, but think around the corner from what you want. And it's like this moment of it, like just happened in the nick of time. That just came through right when I needed it. That can be the energy signature of Jupiter working with Uranus. Then on February 13th through March 16th, Mars and Venus are traveling together. Mars and Venus, very, very interesting energy to have. Like, they are going to be conjunct for a long time. This is 30 days. 30 days of literal like this. This is that energy of take your significant other or somebody that you really, really love and adore, and lock yourself in a bathroom with them, and you can only sit in the bathtub with them. So you got to like draw it like you're in this super tiny, tight, enclosed space, and you've got to spend 30 days with that individual in that space. That's Mars and Venus traveling together. And they're going to enter Aquarius together on March 7th. So they're kind of just, buddying up. And this to me is very Aries Mars energy. So that trailblazer where he is helping to push Venus along. He's helping to kind of give her that energy that she needs, because she has still a long trek even after Mars gets away from Venus. She still has a long trek to go till April when she meets up with Jupiter in Pisces. And it's just like he's saying, like, keep going, keep walking the path. He is feeding, if you can work in that higher vibratory aspect, he really is feeding belief and faith into her for sure. He's like just layering that on for her and telling her she can accomplish what she wants to accomplish. On that lower side, there's a tug of war happening. Mars kind of takes over Venus, then Venus takes over Mars, then Mars takes over Venus. And typically Mars doesn't very often get the front on Venus. So there can be this like energetic back and forth with masculine and feminine energy, where it's just like, in depending upon how it's showing up for you, it could be this kind of like tension going back and forth between action, intuition, and decision making, and what are we going to do and where are we going to go. So just kind of know that, watch for that. It is a prime, very good time if you can kind of work and just balance that masculine and feminine energy out, to have alignments come together and for choice points to be taken. So decisions to be made. Allow Mars, allow your masculine energy to make those decisions. Allow Venus to dream and birth, and allow Mars to take what she births and bring it into reality and take that action forward. Don't get caught in, well, I want to do this and I want to do that. Allow those energies to be balanced and really to work synergistically with each other. I think that that's the right word. February 20th. Big energy. It is the USA's Pluto return, exact at 27 degrees, 32 minutes of Capricorn. So this is not the first time. This is the first time this is going to happen. It is not the last time. However, I mean, I just have to take a moment of gratitude. What a time. Thank you, higher self, for putting me on this planet at this time. What a time to be alive and studying astrology. Humans, us as a humanoid species, never get to see a Pluto return in our life. So this is way beyond lifetime, right? Pluto takes so long to get around the zodiac sign. So this is truly a once in a lifetime experience. We as Americans are being able to witness. It's a big deal. It kind of, as I was like writing out all the things that I wanted to say, I got a little choked up. Like it is a really big privilege. It's a very big privilege to be able to sit here and go, wow, I'm actually like seeing this occur. Now, again, Pluto's such a large energy. This Pluto return we've been working with over the last couple of years. Have you seen what's happened over the last couple of years? Pluto return has been working with us for a while now. But this is the time where it's going exact. And then obviously Pluto is going to take a long time to get away from this exact point and into Aquarius and movement forward. So we're still going to be working with these energies for quite a while in the future. So it's this, the story has only just begun. So while this is a really big time, a very exciting time to be here and to witness it, it's like just the first chapter. It's like we're literally on page 1 where it says like chapter 1, and we're just starting this story. The one thing that we can say is this is evolutionary energy. It takes a while for evolutionary energy to bend, mold, and shape itself. Just like, chiseling away at marble takes a while for the form to show, and to like create something out of that. Same thing. It takes a while for evolution to really take hold. So this is going to be energy we're going to be working with for a long time. What is being asked of us, though, is to understand that this is a transformative process we are going through. It is a world transformation. Yes, this is for the US. The US is also a part of the world. It is connected to the world at large. And as we transform and change as a country, so will the world transform and change as well. And this brings up a quote that I think really perfectly describes this time. And we're watching Vikings right now, so it's totally a Ragnar Lothbrok quote. But he told one of his sons, "Don't waste your time looking back. You're not going that way." And that is exactly what we need to hone in on as we go through this transformation as a collective consciousness. There's no use looking back. There's no use like, oh, I wish I could. Nope. You're not going that way anymore. We're going this way. And that's where we want to head. All right. So that takes us to the very end. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to be growing and experiencing all of these energies right along with you. I am really, really excited to announce, and again, this is all already up on Crowdcast, but I will be doing 2 live workshops in March. So those will be extended workshops, an hour and a half, 2 hours, that are going to be all about the planets. So, planets in astrology, not only planets, but luminaries as well. So, the sun and the moon, as well as planets and orishas. So, more info can be found on the Crowdcast. With that information, as well as the socials, I'll be posting those over the next coming days. And then the QR code below is the access point to all things Habitual Sages. You can find links for YouTube, the socials. There's also a link to my Patreon. I will be upgrading and updating my Patreon in February, taking advantage of those energies that we talked about, getting that action going. So I will be updating my Patreon to offer even more there. Definitely would love to see you there. Patreon, as well as through these Crowdcasts, there is always availability to make donations through Crowdcast. And as Patreon, as a community subscriber, you actually help me continue to do this work, continue to buy all the things that we need to buy to make this happen, and put the energy out there for each of you. So definitely love to see you over on Patreon as well. So mahalo. See everyone for the full moon and the March overview. Enjoy your February. I look forward to connecting with you later. Bye.